too.
Hope y'all had a good Easter, 420 Easter,
Yeah.
whatever, however you celebrated it. Enjoyed it. You know, I understand. No judgment here. Enjoy your day.
I wonder how many times this has happened in life, like
For the 420 and Easter, then
Yeah.
it's probably very like a weird anomaly. That shit. Like I don't
Like
think Jesus
handful,
would have
right?
liked that.
Oh, who knows? Maybe
God was up that with us blazing.
maybe he's down with that. It's the only drug that comes from the earth that you don't have to fucking chemically mix.
You feel me? Then they say
Some shit.
don't they say potheads are the avatar because they juggle water, earth, fire, and air.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Mhm.
That's like a meme or something, right? Okay, I've remembered my topic. My topics.
That's all it took, a joke or two.
That's all it took to snap it right in there.
Memes.
I'ma just shoot it out right quick. Worst movie you've ever seen in your entire life that you look back and it's almost like PTSD, where you're like shaking in your sheets.
I mean, I feel like I feel like
you're the worst.
I feel like and it's probably gonna be like cliche, but the last Airbender and like the Dragon Ball Evolution movies.
You know what? I think I have to watch them again, but I don't remember being that mad about them.
Well, I mean, as a fan of the original material,
I think remember I have like a list of movies that like they're bad only because they're not.
I feel like I feel like Dragon Ball Evolution,
like Super Mario Brothers.
I feel like the original Super Mario Brothers or the
original one.
Yeah,
I love that movie, but I feel like its worst qualities is because it's not like the game. If you remove that,
it was an entertaining movie.
I think it's a great movie.
See, my thing is like the last Airbender movie was just like I feel like it was just objectively like
even if it was like the movies, I mean like the show, it would just still would have been bad.
I think it was bad. Like in the Dragon Ball Evolution, like I will say like as a movie, I watched that movie just because it's like I've watched it more than once. So like that's my guilty pleasure watch. So it's not so terrible that I didn't watch it, but it was so bad that like I will say it's at the bottom of my list. But like I don't watch it because it's artistic or because I'm a fan of Dragon Ball Z. Because I am a fan of Dragon Ball Z, but like I'm not watching it to respect the series. I'm watching it because I know it's bad.
Yeah,
it's like watching The Room.
Sometimes I just feel like in those situations, like I'm watching them and I'm like, I've seen worse movies than this. Like Dragon Ball Evolution, it's a bad movie, but it's entertaining. It's all right.
See, like I have a hard maybe I blanked it out or anything like that. I don't know. I don't really truly remember a movie that I was like I want to walk out. Like no. Oh fuck. The new
The light bulb went off.
Yeah. What was that recent movie? The Madam Web movie. That shit was.
Oh, you paid
bro,
money for that?
I went for like matinee tickets, so like I didn't pay full price. But then like my girl was like she wanted to watch it. I was like, you know what, I'm down. Yeah. It's a Marvel movie. I know Sony movies are notoriously like disappointing, so I didn't go in expecting. I didn't. No, it was a terrible. Like holy fuck, like oh my god. Like I'm pretty sure I'm not even a good filmmaker. I've not done the whole circuit going on. I'm pretty sure I could have written a better script.
Have you ever walked out of a movie? Like paid movie tickets and just was like, nah, this ain't. I'm not.
Not in my adult life.
As a kid, you did?
I don't know if we have as a kid. I don't think I ever actually.
Sometimes, especially when you're with your parents, they're like, "Oh, this is a waste of money."
I don't think I've ever truly. I think it was always like, you paid good money for this. I'm gonna sit through this movie.
I think the one of the worst movies I've ever seen in my life. The first thing I've ever walked out of was Spider-Man 4.
Spider-Man 4.
I mean 3.
I was like, yo, I didn't know they had a 4.
I blacked out the number.
Yeah.
No, 3.
See, like, yeah, I can understand.
It's a terrible movie.
Spider-Man 3, like, same way that you feel like Spider-Man 3.
You like 3?
I don't like 3. Spider-Man 3 is a moderate to mediocre movie. Not a terrible movie, not a great movie. For what it was, for the Marvel standing, it was bad.
Calling it mediocre is insulting.
No,
I think I walked out around a time where Peter Parker backhands Mary Jane in the jazz club.
Yeah, so that shit.
I think that was like, I'm done here.
I think like I liked the Sandman parts. I feel like that was a salvageable thing. I didn't mind the Green Goblin parts. I think the whole Venom, they could have done that in the whole of the movie. I feel like if they didn't put Venom there, it would have been a good movie. You know what I'm saying? Like Venom felt like an over-bloated situation. I think like you didn't need like.
I'll give you a minute.
But my thing is like I get it though, because like in some storylines, like, and I'm not even saying like because stories are on the comics written, but I'm pretty sure. Correct me if I'm wrong, comic book people, but I'm pretty sure like Peter, when he does get the symbiote, does kind of go up against Sinister Six. So in a weird way, they downscaled it what it should have been. So it's like, am I saying it was a good movie? No, I understand the stigma behind it. I'm not gonna
You
say
see
it.
it's false. It's false.
Yeah. Like, is it a bad movie? Like, would I never rewatch it? I've watched it once or twice, full way through, in bits and pieces. No, never like once or like I've been like, let me rewatch the whole thing. I've been like, damn, it's on FX. Let me, you know what? let me. Shit, we halfway through the movie. I'll watch the last bit. But I can understand that.
You know, the problem was that Sam Raimi directed the first two. He co-written or might have written the story of the third one and directed it. So that already probably was.
I feel like Sam Raimi, whenever you give him like too big of a and this is just me critiquing it. Like maybe I'm like, but like if you give him like I feel like Sam Raimi is good for like the didn't he do the first two Spider-Man movies that were amazing?
Yeah, he's good. He's really good at directing, like creating a world.
Fantastic first two, but then like I think once you get to a point where it's too like, I feel like the story was too bloated. I don't know if Sam, because like I even feel like Doctor Strange 2 dealt like, I feel like because there were so many different, like you had to go to the multiverse, you had to do this, and they were trying to like fit in. It felt a little rushed, and I feel like I don't know if Sam Raimi's style is meant to be rushed in that sense to get all those things crammed in to hit certain marks. I feel like Spider-Man 2, Spider-Man 1 were like more sit down, you can focus on the one character storyline, the one villain, and you can kind of build from there, and you can kind of feel the more emotional moments. Like the bridge scene where he's holding up Mary Jane, or he's holding up that Mary Jane and the carts. Like the scene, like
you mean when he's holding the train?
Yeah, the train and like
because the first one was the ferry ride.
Yeah, the ferry ride.
The second one was the train.
Yeah, like moments like that, like he did those like really well. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I feel like it got too over. Like even in Spider-Man 3, the Flint Marko scenes, like when it talked about his backstory, Peter Parker and his relationship with the person that actually murdered his father, the tragedy behind that, and the fact that Peter, I think, eventually forgave him. Like that, and like that was good. Like even in the cartoony way they did and handled the whole Harry Osborn thing, there were some good parts to that. I think it just get over bloated. Like,
well, here's the thing. I like that there were three villains. I like that they challenged themselves. I think it was just time. The series was big at that time, and I feel like that wasn't the initial issue. The execution wasn't right. But because
so I'd say, what would you say there are parts that they could have cut out to fit more time to building other things in that movie?
That's a good question.
Do you even remember the parts?
I've watched the movie a lot, even since.
He said, I've sat down and digested it.
Because, you got to finish the series.
You
gotta watch all.
He was, it was trash. Watch that when I paid for it, I couldn't sit through it.
But
when it was free on TV, my nigga.
You can't just
I had to sit down eventually.
Yeah, of course.
Everyone grows up and watches a bad movie.
You don't watch Lord of the Rings 1, 2, and just stop there. You gotta finish the third.
Just watch the Harry Potter franchise, but stop at like
2,
or like the Twilight franchise. But you know what? After breaking down, like right before the final movie, like
yeah. So yeah, that's a good question, and I hope this doesn't dive into a deeper thing, but like I really at that point especially hated how they had to connect every villain to Spider-Man's life. I hated that. Second one, Doc Ock is his teacher. First one, Harry Osborn's dad. Third one, you mean to tell me they're chilling in a park and the Venom suit is just gonna crash land right next to Peter? Oh wait, and Sandman killed Uncle Ben now instead of some random crook. I didn't like.
You felt like there was too many. Like you felt like there could have been one character that was separate. That was he just so happens to be a villain.
Exactly. I feel like Sandman could have played that part so well.
They didn't need to rehash the Uncle Ben situation, but they could have just still made him a attractive character.
He could have been the whole daughter thing they could have kept, but his connection, the flashbacks, Peter's conflicted, that was too much. That to me, that's one of the things that made it too stuffed. Not the fact there was 3, but the execution. They could have made Sandman really good in the small scenes that he was in, and still made us care. So, because speaking of the 3 of them being villains, and I think that the ending scene, the very last ending scene with the fight where it's like Harry, Peter versus Venom and Sandman.
Yeah.
Excellent scene. That actually kind of set the standard to me because we didn't see anything like that, and I didn't get to see the scene when I walked out of it when I was 14.
Yeah.
I did.
He was like, I missed the best
I
part.
didn't see it, but I remember
Like,
I copped
my
it.
man.
I got it on DVD like a year later.
He saw Peter Parker dancing. He was like, "Nah, I'm done."
Yeah, I was done as a fan. I was
like you
just
feel
done.
like they could have cut that.
Yeah, the whole right. That's so to get back to that.
But like, do you feel like I feel like why would you like? I always question that. Like, what was the moment in that movie that made you like I was done with the whole movie? Was it just that? It was that scene?
No, it was they were making a mockery of Peter, like the whole dancing. It was played for laughs. Like he went emo, which was really huge at the time. It was all kind of like tongue in cheek. Like
it wasn't like the dark turn wasn't taken serious enough as it.
I felt like they were parodying themselves rather than just telling a dark story.
They're like, we can't take this character Peter too much. Like he's too nice of a guy. Like, all right, if we're gonna make him dark, we're gonna make it ridiculous.
There's so much stuff in there that just didn't like pan out well.
It was like they were like, because we got to make it lighthearted because we about to beat a woman. like
pretty much.
Like, they were like prepping you for the scene, so like. We can't make it too dark because then you do that and then you beat a woman, you lose your audience.
There's this whole bit about remember the scene where Harry, and Mary Jane are like making eggs or like they're making omelets in the kitchen and they're dancing to that corny song and it's like
with her and Harry.
Yeah, it was just like there's so many moments like that. It was bad.
Like you wanted to, they're trying to make it a Hallmark movie. Like I understand like moments where you could have a personable moment. I feel like. And I think after watching like series like
I also walked out of Land of the Dead by George Romero, but that's it. I don't think you're familiar with the zombie movies, zombie franchise.
Yeah.
You're not much of a horror guy, right?
Not as much as I like right now.
Yeah, it was basically about a zombie.
I love the Final Destination movies, but
those are good up until like 3. But yeah, I mean, Land of the Dead, Spider-Man 4. It's 3. I don't know why.
He keeps blanking out. He said they never made a third.
Yeah.
4, just 1, 2, 4.
Spider-Man 3, Spring Breakers.
I've never seen Spring Breakers, but I can.
It's a terrible film. You should watch it because it's so terrible.
I just don't think I could ever like take James Franco as a thug seriously.
It's crazy that like I didn't even mean to bring him up on two different occasions, but like there's a whole scene where like he just sings on a piano, coked out of his mind. It has nothing to do with the film. It's just in there.
Nothing to do with the plot. We just want. He was like, guys. It'd be a dope ass scene.
Yeah.
Just let me do this one thing. Like,
and there was a rapper called Riff Raff that was really popular at the time, and
I know Riff Raff. Yeah.
Riff Raff. I feel like, and that movie's a mess. There's like a beach montage scene every 10 minutes, and girls are just flashing their titties for no reason. And
so you guys keep Vanessa Hudgens titties in that shit?
No, these are just like side characters, but like it's Vanessa Hudgens. No, Selena Gomez. She's played off like. She's in the whole movie, but she's only in 15 minutes, and she leaves, and she comes back on a bus last 5 minutes of the movie. It's like, oh,
this is like about to get kind of crazy. I'm out.
Like this movie smells like shit. I'm gonna dip for a minute and then come. Back.
Imagine like she got the contract. They signed that the character was written in for the whole movie. She read the script. She said, "Cut me out after the first 15 minutes. I'll do it only if."
Yeah, no.
So they said we need to sell the movie. We need Selena. So fuck it. 15 minutes it is. And she just dipped out per contractual agreement.
It's a really terrible movie. Also Twilight, I think, the first one.
Oh yeah, the first one was I think like I watched it was Twilight was like a bonding thing with me and my mom. So like it is what it is.
That's sweet.
But like so the first one we watched it a bunch of times just because like that like we didn't really know how to talk to each other, so then it was kind of like it was kind of like we could be next to each other in the movies, and then we would just bitch about how bad it was.
Like
but we were like because we read the book and we were like we were like this is terrible. Mind you, what fucked me up was that running scene. That shit.
Oh wait,
he's running in the forest
where he's like carrying her.
It's just like
no.
He run on a treadmill. It's like
my favorite part is when she's like, "Let me see your face in the light," and he like turns her, and he's all crystallized and shit, and I'm like, "What is this? This went through like." This
I'm still thinking about how the logic was. They're in a cloudy town, so never is a sunny day out. Mind you, they shot whole scenes in sunny days when like the sun is hitting everybody. Yeah. No one's sparkling, never.
Right. That was the vampire craze we were going through, where like vampires they were all sexy and like.
I mean, like I get it. Like I think like the appeal for like. I think for girls, it was like the power. It was like the sexy serving man. A lot of
melodrama.
Yeah, and I think for like some guys, they were like you could be a super powerful vampire. So it was like it was.
Yeah, and get women.
It was like a superpower. Yeah, so like I even like watched the Vampire Diaries series up until conclusion.
Yeah, there was a lot of shit out at that time.
Like I don't hate on people that like you know what I'm saying because I was part of that.
Yeah,
but
like had True Blood, which is like
True Blood was fire. True Blood was fire.
Yeah, so you were in the craze.
I was part of the craze.
You were surfing.
Bro, I was in that shit. I hopped from that comic books to YA novels, my boy. I was watching. I didn't watch all. I didn't read the books, but I watched the movie.
Well, see, like I watched the movie, and I was like, not only is this movie terrible, but I feel like it'd be a little less terrible if I did read the books because I didn't read the books, so I felt like I couldn't offer my opinion to other people.
But yeah, no, I was kind of like, I
was like, this is bad.
But I feel like if you read the books, there's probably more things you could learn to complain about.
Yeah, right. I'd be like, maybe I shouldn't have read the books.
And mind you, like, I don't even remember the books well enough to know what they didn't get right and what they got right. That was so long ago. Like, I'm not even.
You weren't the one guy stand up in the movie like, this is wrong.
Like looking back at it now, I wasn't as big of a fan of the series. But then, like, I would always be asking people. But it was good. My thing is like, I don't think anybody realizes like as a dude, if you like have some feminine taste, you can talk to women. I'm not saying you got to be straight gay and doing your nails, like, and that doesn't even matter. Like, if you do want to do that, fuck it. If you're straight and you're doing your nails, you could talk to a girl about nail polish, and that's a conversation starter. People get so like, you know, I would be talking to some girls. Mind you, I wasn't smooth, so it would just be regular conversation. I never converted into anything, but if I was smart, I could have. But then, like, ultimately, it did help me. Like, I was comfortable talking to more broader people about this because more people talked about this subject.
Okay, so the film series helped you in a way.
And yeah, it helped
socially.
Bro, yeah, like I was an outcast in my school. So then like what was cool is I had a book set, and then like everybody would make fun of me. Or actually, I want to read your book. Can I read it? And like, you know, like at first I was reluctant, then people would borrow it because I wasn't really reading it. I was carrying the book around like after a while. And then like, you know, eventually, but then like everybody started getting the book, and then like, it became like a thing that like I could talk to people about for a short period of time. Then the phase went out, and then I was back to where I was.
Yeah,
before.
It was a culturally significant book series that people could relate to.
But it allowed. But I think that book, in a weird way, like where I was in elementary school and junior high and shit at the time.
Elementary?
Well, not junior high.
Oh, okay. I was like,
junior high going to high school, but where I was around that time when it came out, I think like didn't really like. I didn't have like a clique. I had like one friend, and like. Because I had one friend there, the whole class would be calling me gay type shit. So then, like, it helped me, like, and this probably didn't help my allegations, you know, with the Twilight shit. Like, it definitely didn't help the allegations. But then, like, I think, like, it helped me, like, socialize with more people. So, like, you know, maybe one or two kids were making fun of me, but I could be friends with this group of kids who were talking about this. And then, and like, in a weird way, it, like, lightened some of the bullying. Because they're like, oh, he's a human. We can stop. You know, we've been bullying this kid for, like, 8 years. Damn, I didn't think he was a person the whole time. But it helped.
Yeah, that's a really sad story.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to trauma dump on podcast.
No, I want to have a safe space for people to tell me things like that. But you've expressed me your past.
I'm open about it because it's like I'm not gonna cry about that. You know what I'm saying? Like it's I am who I am. I've gone through it. Yeah. It is what it is. And like I've not gone through. My life wasn't the worst life in the world. Like maybe at the time I thought it was because I was a kid and that was the only world that I knew.
Yeah, I think we all feel like that.
But then like after growing up out of it, realizing I still had a lot more advantages than I had disadvantages in certain situations.
Well, you've grown into a fine young gentleman, if I say so myself.
I appreciate it.
Do you have the lighter?
I was like, yo, you've grown into a fine young. Let's smoke this joint. Good man.
Yeah, let's celebrate. No, I
actually don't think I have a lighter.
I swear I had a lighter on me. This is embarrassing.
After the trauma, don't know you gotta hit that button.
Okay, yeah, but no, that was my choices for worst movies that I can just think of off top. And yeah.
Yeah. Like I
wanted to hear your opinion on
No, you're good. I didn't know it was gonna go to the trauma, but this conversation's grown.
No, it's fine. We can keep that in there if you want.
No, that's on me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. You're editing this. So.
Yeah. I'm like, actually, fuck that.
You like dub your voice.
They're just like, what's the worst movie? All right, so next topic. Like we even Let's get straight past that shit.
No, because I had brought this topic. This is the next topic. So I had brought this topic up before, and I think we've actually had a conversation about it, but we were smoking, so I doubt you remembered too much about it. But you know what I miss? Those video game movie tie-ins. Like it'd be like Fantastic Four, like the 2000 ones, and then it'd be like the video game.
Oh yeah, I think we talked about
the movies,
like the X-Men movie, and then they had the X-Men Last Stand. Yeah.
Like I miss those. Like I understand that they weren't like
Like I think quality. They still kind of make those.
I don't think so.
Like they just kind of added into Fortnite. So like when something new comes out, there's like a new skin in Fortnite. Yeah, so it's been like streamlined. They don't have to invest in a whole video game production and like pay the actors. It's like I could just put a skin up on Fortnite and you're good.
Yeah. You know what's cool about those is like damn, like maybe I want to feel like Captain America after I've seen the Captain America movie.
I think they kind of still like they did like a Suicide Squad game.
Oh, I heard that was not that good though, right?
Yeah, and it wasn't like I don't think it was like tied into the Suicide. Yeah, no, but it was like I think what they'll do is they'll make games. They won't do it where it's like a movie tie-in. They'll be like, oh, the characters are popular. Let's make a video game with those characters around that time.
Yeah. Or like I know Disney.
It'll take forever to make it and they'll lose the buzz, but it is what it is.
Like Pixar used to do shit like that. They'd have like a Monsters Inc. game or like.
But those also didn't have long standing power. Like you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like if you have a game like it's like movies and
just more way to get money off of that property.
Yes.
Because kids are just like, oh, Lilo and Stitch, this is going to be a great game.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean it's going to be a great game. So it's just.
And like I don't know the statistics off this, so like I'm talking off the top of my head, but like I would look at it this way, like. You ever have a good movie that's like good for the first weekend in the box office? They're like, oh, we made a bunch of money the first weekend and never makes any money after that. No one, it was critically acclaimed for 1 week, and then there was like actually it was looking back at it was terrible. Their movie like so then that's how games I feel like they would look at those. They're like, oh, first week everyone's hyped about the movie, so they bought the video game. The game's doing record breaking sales. Next week. Well, when we do it in the long-term numbers, yeah, it did record-breaking first week sales, but long-term, we've basically just done 1 week of sales. It doesn't equate to like the amount of money they probably have to invest in the game.
Yeah. Also, too, there's probably like a certain rush that they have to put the game out, so they're not gonna put the time and energy to fucking, they're just throwing a skin on these fucking.
And the quality of game is now up, so you can't just like. You can't just like push it out.
Because I'm sure there's a time frame, so they can't put the time and effort. But I just I miss them, and then along with a lot of different genres of games, I feel like it doesn't exist anymore, really.
No, it was fun though, because I think like, well, what other genres of games do you feel like have gone missing?
Remember boxing games, like how big fighting games were, like Soul Calibur. I feel like everything is like a.
Well, they still have like Tekken.
First-person shooter now.
They still have Tekken, Soul Calibur, but yeah, I see
where
like
the big boys are still out there, like Street Fighter, Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
like, man, there used to be so much.
Like they still like I don't know if the Ninja Storm, but they had the Ninja Storm franchise, Dragon Ball Z kind of coming back, but like I don't think Dragon Ball Z the new Tenkaichi game did as successful as they wanted it to.
Yeah, but games like that though, like.
It's transitioned more to like anime-based games though. Like that's kind of who's taking over that realm.
Yeah, remember fucking. They'd have those NBA games, and then they'd have like the street ball games where you could like jump in the air like 6 times.
Bro, NBA Street shit was the most fucking like. I played 2K, I played a bunch of different. I used to be a big kid that would play like the 2K games, the Madden games, shit like that. Cause my brother loved it, not cause I didn't even like sports like that. But like I used to like I couldn't tell you like who was on what team, whatever. But I played the game.
Yeah.
And then like I think I played NBA Street Volume 2 and 3. Fuck, to this day, I wish I could get those games on my Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Like holy, I would buy that shit like that. I would immediately, even if it was full cost. That shit was a fire ass game. If they remastered that shit and replayed that shit, if y'all know NBA Street, my boy, put that shit in the comments, man. Oh my god, NBA Street was such a fucking y'all. I don't know if you ever played the game.
Yeah, of course.
You remember the fucking specialty, like the shit, the fireball dunks.
Yeah,
and
the
shit?
whole fucking hoop would be on fire and shit. You can do all these super moves. Like I feel like they were sports games, and then they had like different dimensions of sports games. There was more to it. It's more well rounded, where it's kind of like.
You feel like it's more rudimentary on the ones that are right now?
Yeah, there's just not a focus there. Like remember fucking Splinter Cell?
Yeah, I didn't really play those games.
That was a huge game though. You know, and that was a different type of game that involved different type.
Was
of
it like you kind of like you did this shooter, but it was like third-person shooter?
It was all about
you
stealth.
were a spy.
Yeah, you had to. You didn't just run into a room with a gun and kill everybody. You had to like disarm people and like take them out. And
they still make games like Hitman is still out there.
It's probably first. No, Hitman's not popular right now.
Well, I mean, they still have the Hitman games. I don't know if it's like as crazy as I don't think it's. See, I think the games are still being made. They're just not selling as crazy. They're not like the popular fad.
I wonder why that is though.
I mean, well, also you have to think about it. Like, how popular were games when we were growing up? Because like, we didn't see the statistics. We just saw like as kids that some people had it, some people didn't. And in our group, in our niche, in our community, they had that shit. How big was it? Like, it's probably hitting a wider audience than it would before. I'm assuming.
Well, I think
because more people, gaming has been more popular in the culture.
A lot of stuff.
It's like the only thing people have to do as a pastime nowadays.
There's different things that are taking our attention too. Like I can play a whole game on my way to work on my phone. You know, like I don't think I'm running as much to other platforms. Like Candy Crush accomplishes all the dopamine I need. You know, like
no, I feel that.
Maybe I don't need to pay like fucking $15 for a game. I don't know. I'm just trying to make sense.
No.
It seems like there's less genres now.
No, yeah. I feel like it's kind of like everything kind of seems like, even if it's a different genre, it plays similarly.
Yeah, like racing games, Midnight Club, Gran Turismo, like these were like big guys back in like the 2000s. Like where are those games now? What are they doing? Why are we not racing anymore?
I see what you're saying. Like I think they're still making the Gran Turismo games. I don't know if
that movie that like went nowhere.
Yeah. Like apparently. See, like, I get what you're saying, though. Like, it's not like you're not seeing the younger generation of people excited about those games. Yeah. Maybe our generation of people is like, I'll play that game because I have remembrance to it. There's a base for it, but it's a smaller niche. It's not like and I would say, like, this kind of leads to the question, how do you feel about being not being in the generation that's deciding the fads anymore?
Yeah, I was kind of fucked up because it's just like, yo, you're old, you know?
But like when I feel like you decide the fads when you're like 21 and under. Well, 22 and under. I feel like once you pass that 21 mark, you're no longer who they're marketing to. Like maybe, you know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I'll put it this way. To me, fads are important when you're 21, 22. But once you're at your 30, you're like, what fads? I'm just going to live my life.
You start realizing that you're just spending money on dumb shit.
I got bills to pay. Like, who the fuck cares? You know what's in. I think that just happens naturally.
Fair.
And I think 30 is a cool age because you're like in the middle. You're like an established.
You're still young enough to be like, I'm a young person.
Yeah, I've made this connection before, and someone told me this in the past. When you're like 19, 20, 21, 22, you're like a young adult. You're like, you know how like, you know, you're a toddler, like you're a baby kid. You know, like you're a young adult at that age when you're in your 20s. So like you're still into like dumb shit. I think when you're in your 30s, you're past that. You're more established. You're still young, but you're just like, you know, you're not into fads. You don't care anymore.
Like I feel like it's also like in a weird way, like I'm now established in my career, in a certain thing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I feel like now I'm 28, going on 29 this year. So then like. I'm not 30 yet, but like I feel like where I was like 5-6 years ago, there's more uncertainty and shit. Like there's a lot more uncertainty now, but like at least in who I am as a person, I am more certain.
Yeah, and then sometimes I'll catch myself looking back and like, damn, like that's all I had to do, you know. But then it seemed bigger because that's the amount of stuff you can handle on your plate. Just like 5 years from now, you're looking back at what you're doing now, you're like, that's nothing, you know. Look how small my plate was. So you always kind of have to have that carrot in front of your face in order to keep pushing forward, and you know that's how we progress. That's how we keep going.
Well, yeah. It's
you can't
also
just
like
be stagnant.
I think the best saying is like you don't like life doesn't get easier. You just get tougher and learn how to handle it.
Yeah.
I think that's kind of like the best way you can do it. Like I would say there's certain things now that like I even look back, there was like certain financial woes or certain things that would throw me off. Like a big expense would pop off when I first was a young adult and it would happen. Maybe I'm at a point where I have a little bit more money now, or maybe I'm at a point where like I'm familiar with how to maneuver through that and comfortable with being uncomfortable. So I'm okay with being broke a little bit. Or I've done that before. I've like, all right, shit, I've done the ramen noodles before. And, you know, I've got, you know, shit didn't stop happening. you kind of just learn to adjust to that. You learn how to maneuver through it when the times do come in. I think that like when you get to 30, you've done that enough in life where you've been in it all. You've probably, like most people, I would assume, have been on their own or have been taking care of themselves in somewhere. Maybe you live with your parents, but you're still paying for your shit. You're still taking care of your place. You're probably paying rent or something. You've maintained and established a certain maturity of life, and that, if that makes any sense. And you can kind of use that to relate to other people from different backgrounds, because ultimately we all got bills. Like, that's the thing you can relate to with anybody and everything. We all got bills, whether they MAGA, whether they whatever. We all got bills. Once you get to that relationship, like we all got bills, you can kind of grow from there. Like once you get to that point where you have bills, where you've been doing that shit while along, fads don't matter as much, because you know it's because you're trying to identify and define yourself. But when you all got bills, what else you gonna focus on if you still gotta pay them bills?
Yeah, also like who you trying to impress? You know, like when you're young, you're like more insecure, but when you're more sure of yourself, like if you're like, oh man, look at my sneakers, they're not the coolest sneaker out, but like, yo, I'm a really great guy, and I know that because I've been doing this for a while, so that's how I know I'm a great guy. So fuck my sneakers, you know what I'm saying? But when you're 20, you're like, yo, my sneakers need to look fresh because I need to get some of these fucking.
And then I guess I guess the question then should lead us as men growing older. Should we now start to mentor or like get into a position where we can mentor younger?
Yeah, of course. I would say about any generation that looks at another generation.
Then like how would we do that? Like I've never really thought about, like I'm sure there's Big Brother programs and stuff like that.
I mean,
like
I guess.
But like I feel like what is a socially acceptable way to do that?
I don't know. I think just you don't even have to be that good at the job. All you have to do is relate your experiences to someone else. So someone, by the time they get to your age or even like mid-20s, they'll be like, oh shit, that one dude Matt told me that so-and-so don't invest in this, or like don't occupy your time too much with women, or like don't get too much into nerd shit to where like it engulfs your life, or like go outside and like read Twilight, you know. Oh shit, someone told me this, so now I'm more prepared for it.
But my thing is like
in my mid-20s.
But the thing is, the question is like, am I right though? Because I'm not on.
Yeah, of course not. I mean, you feel like you've made some really good decisions in your life, right?
But also, like, I also know that I've had certain privileges in my life. So, like, I won't deny that there are certain things that I've had support from my family and everything. My circumstance may not be the same as another person's circumstance.
Well, it might be similar in some ways, too. You can only do what you can.
Relate to that circumstance.
There has to be some middle ground to where they're like, oh, that happened to me. You know, oh, okay, cool. I'll watch out for that.
Because, like, I find it where, like, at my job, like, I think there was a moment where, like, because I had switched from being like the regular employee to management, and like I had got called out on a few things, and like as a manager now, I have to get comfortable with being the standard of how I'm supposed to act, and not like I can't ask of you what I'm not doing myself. And I don't, I like that as I would not want someone leading me who's not doing what I'm, you know what I'm saying? What
you want to remember where you came from.
Yeah. So then I think there was a moment where like I was slipping up on showing late to certain meetings and stuff like that, and then like. I'll admit I should have. It was a bad habit, and I think like my higher up have been like hey, people are like looking to you now, like you're leading, more people are showing up late because you're showing up late. It's weird having that, and like even like there was like 2-3 guys in the back having a conversation, one an employee and like two managers, and they're talking about like going to a strip club, this, that, and the other, and I'm like like I'm a grown man, like I've never really done the whole like strip club thing, and like. I've never really found the appeal to it. Like it's dope. I would do it one day if I had like a stack of bread, like a few hundreds that I'm willing to just give away.
Yeah.
But I'm also stingy. I'm a stingy bitch. Like so I don't know. I don't feel comfortable just call me what it is.
Maybe they should like downsize strip clubs, like a much more minimized. It's not as big. It's just quarters. No tokens. You know those little tickets you just come out of like the
that's crazy. Yeah.
Like you just kind of throw fake money.
Yeah, it's great. Like you behind the glass.
Yeah.
And then you start putting quarters in there instead of like that. So you're like the whole time you're like, like a little slot.
Like kind of dressed.
So you just like instead of it shooting at the stripper, it just drops. It like safely drops
like
into
a dollar store, like the difference between Walmart and it
like she gotta
get the same stuff.
She gotta go to them coin slot machines afterwards to get her ready.
Cashing. She gotta
count this out. She gotta go to the bank with that bitch. What's going on?
Cop a toy.
Yeah, that's.